Let's kill some damn Nazis. Let's get into it. Hey, welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is doing well out there. Today I'm bringing you this review from my parents' garage. I'm in PA visiting, and as you see behind me, there's plenty of implementations to kill Nazis with, but we don't need to do that. They've already been vanquished. But what we're going to do today is talk about the movie Overlord. This film came out in 2018, had a budget of $38 million, and sadly upon release worldwide only made 41. This movie came out in November. I think they should have released this in October or September. Unfortunately, by the time November rolls around, horror doesn't typically do all that well in November. And it's a shame, because I saw this in the theaters. I really liked this film, so let's get into it. This movie was directed by Julius Avery. He was a first-time director, and he handled himself really well. We'll get into it in a little bit. But in this movie, we have Javon Adepo as Boyce. We have Wyatt Russell, Kurt Russell's son, as Ford. And we have Matilda Olivier as Chloe. She's this woman they run upon in this little French village. And then basically this movie takes place on the eve of D-Day. And these paratroopers are flying over France to parachute in to take out this radio tower in this church. So the next day when the Allied forces arrive on the beach, the Nazis can't communicate with Berlin. And as they're in the plane, they introduce all the players, and they start getting shot at, and they have to abandon the plane and jump out earlier than they were anticipating. And when they reach the ground, there's only a small number of them left. And Wyatt Russell's character ends up being the leader now because he's in charge, because their leader, their commander was killed by the Nazis, and they make their way to this village, and they come upon this woman played Chloe. And she's a scavenger. She's been out there collecting like watches and anything she could use for barter. And she lets them come into her house in this little village to hide out while they plan on what they're going to do with this church, this radio tower. And right away, something's not right. Her aunt lives there. She breathes real heavy. She doesn't look right. Like her skin's all messed up. And that's just the first hint that there's some horrors to come in this film. Because this movie starts off very much like a typical war film. And I'm not going to give everything away because it's only 2 years old. And if you've never seen it, and judging by the box office, a lot of people haven't seen it, I don't want to ruin it. But this movie is basically a hybrid film. It's a war film. It's also a horror movie. And as our troops learn, the Nazis are doing experiments on villagers and their own soldiers in this church. And basically, they're trying to create super soldiers to fight the Allies with. And once Wyatt Russell's character wants to get this mission over with, he wants to do his mission so the Allied soldiers can do what they need to do the next day on D-Day. So towards the end of the film, I'm hopping over some stuff again. I don't want to spoil it. This movie's only a couple years old, and I know a lot of people have never seen this film. They go into the church. Him and Boyce go into the church, and this is where they find more of the horrors, them experimenting on soldiers and just these weird experiments, injecting with this serum they created. And by this point, the commander of the Nazis for this village injected himself with 2 of these needles of this serum. His face is all gnarly because the troops had already beaten the crap out of him trying to get information, but he gets away. And he's turned into basically a monster. He could talk. He still talks like a human and that, but he's super strong, super fast, and so are these other ones that they've done experiments on. So in the heat of the battle, Wyatt Russell's character, who's going hand-to-hand with this guy, can't match him, decides that, and he knows he's going to die. He injects himself with the serum, and they have this battle royale. And at the end of the film, they blow up the church, and they save the day. But this movie is, I don't want to give everything away, but if you haven't seen it, check it out. It's really well done. Julius Avery does a nice job shooting this film. There's a lot of practical effects, especially with the super soldier, zombie-type soldiers, Nazi zombies. It all looks really good. It's really well done. There is a little bit of CGI in the beginning of the film, but for the most part, everything's practical. He keeps the pace moving. I was never bored. It's exciting. When the action hits, it's hard R action. So I would give this film an 8.5 out of 10. I like it that much. It's really well done. It's a shame it kind of just got released in November. I think it would have done better if it got released at a different time of year. But 8.5 out of 10 for me for Overlord. Have you seen this film? What are your thoughts on it? Leave a comment down below. Let me know. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button. All that great stuff. And I will be back soon with another video. I hope you're all doing well out there, and I'll be back. See ya. Bye.